Робінзон Крузо by Daniel Defoe. Part 11. Saved the Prisoner. Friday. The next day in the morning, I saw the ship. The ship stopped far from the beach. The ship looked empty. I didn't understand it. I expected the people who fired the gun yesterday. I really wanted to communicate to somebody. I missed communication with real people very much. I took my canoe, and I decided to go to the ship to see if there was anybody still alive on board. The ship looked Spanish, and it was completely destroyed. When I got closer, I saw a dog. He was very happy to see me. I gave him bread, and I gave him water. He was very hungry and extremely thirsty. I found nobody on the ship. What happened to the man from the ship? I thought. It was very strange. I didn't have any answer to this question. It was a mystery. There were many boxes with different things on the ship. Some boxes were small, some boxes were big. Many of the big boxes had bottles with alcohol in them. But these boxes were too heavy. I couldn't take them on the canoe. I found guns and gunpowder. I took them to the canoe. I also found some other useful things. I returned to the island in the evening with several small boxes on my canoe. I had some new shirts and also gold, silver, and a lot of gunpowder. Gunpowder was important to me. On the island, it was more valuable than any money or precious metals. There was something else which I needed very much, and that was shoes. I found 2 pairs of shoes on board the ship. I took them with me. I put all my new things in the cave. I made 5 trips to the ship. I took everything useful for me. Then I hitched the canoe again and went back to my house. Everything went back to normal. Time went quickly. I often thought about the man from the ship and the cannibals on the beach. These thoughts were always in the back of my mind, day and night. It was one night in March when I dreamed that 2 canoes with cannibals landed on the beach. One of their victims ran away and came to my house, where I saved him. Then we became friends. He helped me navigate out of the dangerous currents around the island. I woke up, but the dream stayed in my mind. I realized that if I had somebody to help me, I might be able to escape from the island and reach the continent. Maybe I could save one of the victims brought to this island. I decided to look out for the cannibals, and for the next year and a half, I went daily around the beach, hoping to see canoes. This finally happened one morning. I saw 5 canoes with more than 30 men on the beach. I couldn't attack them because they were too many, so I just waited. I was observing them through my telescope. They made a fire, and they were dancing around it. I also saw 2 men, the victims, tied together. The 2 tied men were taken to the fire after a while. One was beaten and killed. The cannibals painted their bodies with his blood. It was like a theater, but this wasn't a theater. It was real. It was horrible, but I couldn't do anything. There were too many cannibals. The second man waited on the side. When the cannibals didn't look, the second man jumped up and he started to run away. He was running in my direction. I ran to the beach and I hid behind a tree. I saw that he was followed by only 2 cannibals. This was the right moment to save the prisoner. The man ran as fast as possible, but the cannibals were closer and closer to him. Their speed was faster than his. I prepared 2 guns, and I waited behind the tree. The prisoner ran directly to my tree, but he still didn't see me. I didn't move. Then he ran around me. I was still hidden behind the tree. When the first cannibal ran close to me, I jumped from behind the tree. He was shocked. I shot him. The second cannibal saw this. He tried to shoot an arrow at me. I had to shoot him too. The prisoner stopped when he heard the shots, and he turned. He was scared. I smiled at him. I showed him that it was okay to come closer. He came to me. He went down to his knees. He put his head on the ground. Then he took my foot. He put my foot on his head. I showed him to stand up. He stood up and looked at the dead cannibals. He went to their bodies. He looked at the holes in their bodies. He probably couldn't understand what happened to the cannibals. It was unbelievable to him. He took the arrows from the dead men. We took the bodies of the cannibals. We hid the bodies in the forest near. Then we went into the deeper forest. I took the man to my cave. The cave was my secret. Nobody could find us there. I gave him bread, meat, and some water. He was so tired that he fell asleep almost immediately. I had an opportunity to look at him. I could see he was young, slim, but very strong. I thought he was about 25 years old. He had long black hair, dark skin, and a pleasant face. I let him sleep, and I went outside. I stayed near the cave, and I watched it for the cannibals. But they didn't look for us. 3 hours later, the man came out of the cave. He showed me how happy he was that he was alive and safe. I started speaking to him. I named him Friday because it was Friday when I saved his life. I told him my name and I taught him yes and no. We stayed in the cave that night. The next day, we went on top of the hill. I saw through my telescope that the canoes were gone. We were alone on the island. We went carefully to the beach. First, we went to the place where we hid the bodies of the dead cannibals. When we found them, Friday wanted to eat them. I was angry. I showed to Friday that it wasn't good to eat them. Here, I understood that Friday was also a cannibal. We buried the cannibals, then we walked to the beach. What we saw was horrible. There were human bones all around. The sand was red with blood. I asked Friday to collect all the body parts. I prepared a big fire. I decided to burn the body parts in the fire. We went to my house. I made a little tent for Friday between the 2 fences which were around my house. I took all his weapons away. I wanted to feel safe. After a while, I realized this wasn't necessary at all, because Friday was a very faithful and honest man. He was like a child to me, and I was like a father to him. On many occasions later, he showed me he would sacrifice his life to save mine. I was very happy to have Friday around, and I began teaching him everything he needed to know about life like a European. First, I taught him some new words. I started with hi, hello, bye, thank you. It wasn't easy at the beginning, but I was patient because I was happy I could speak to somebody. Thank you for watching. This is the end of part 11. To be continued in part 12. If you like this story, please like, share, and subscribe. See you then.